Okay, guys, and welcome to the official first episode of No Cap Chronicles. Yeah. Hey, thank you. Oh man, this has been a dream of mine. Oh, we've had a few practice runs, but man, the first thing I want to do is shout out to L.A. Ross and Seth the Nerd. Give it up, give it up. If it weren't for these two, I wouldn't have the motivation. I wouldn't have the drive. I don't know where I would be, honestly. This would have never happened. I mean, look at all of this equipment. You guys are in for the ride of your life, okay? Not really, but this is going to be a podcast that we question reality, to say the least, okay? Everybody seems to have their opinion on what we see in front of our two eyes, okay? That the glory of God gave us, these two little eyes. What's on the outside? What are we seeing? We're just gonna dive deep into that, man, and you guys aren't ready for what we're about to talk about. See you guys soon.
Done deal, write it up.
Okay, hey guys, welcome back. Here we are, the first ever episode of No Cap Chronicles. Hello, my first guest. Who would it be to challenge me on whatever? Always.
Who said I was going to challenge you?
I don't know, challenge, but we obviously have a little bit different beliefs.
Friendly debate.
Friendly debates. Very friendly.
I'm going to challenge you, Nolan.
Yeah, probably, because I don't have a lot of education, You know what I mean? But anyway, guys, Lance Ross, ex-space cadet, counselor for NASA, and my future and former boss, if that makes any sense. Used car manager.
It's all a simulation,
yep,
anyways.
It's all, somehow we're here, somehow I'm there, somehow I'm back here. But hey, we're here. How's it going, Lance? How's it going? Did I say that right?
I think
Space Cadet NASA?
Well, I don't know if you said it right, but I'm doing good, Nolan. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Hey, no
excited to be here at my place. But
just in the backyard.
Yeah.
Dude.
So I worked for NASA technically, but I worked at a space camp when I was 21, around that age. So for those of you that aren't aware, there is an actual space camp. There was two of them. Actually, I think three of them. There was one in Northern California where I kind of grew up and where I lived at the time. And then there's also one in, I believe, Huntsville, Alabama. And then there's also one...
Houston?
No,
we have a problem?
Not one in Houston, actually.
Oh.
Believe it or not. In Florida, I believe there's also one where the space shuttle launches from, and they monitor it from Houston.
Wow.
Okay.
We spend a lot of money on a lot of rockets.
So I was not to get too deep, but I was in Boy Scouts when I was younger and really involved in Boy Scouts, Eagle Scout, did a lot of things with scouting, and so through a mutual family friend, my dad was made aware of Space Camp was looking to hire young people to be counselors.
Just young space
And
cadets.
honestly, it was like a summer camp. It wasn't, and I didn't know anything about space. I mean, it was just like a summer camp that you could work at, and being, a former Boy Scout, it was kind of a natural thing.
Just
to
like
go
wrangling kids.
Yeah, it was like
Yep.
you were, being a counselor for, youngsters basically. But so I went and applied and didn't really have to do much. They gave me the job, and then I went through a crash course learning about space. And to be quite honest with you, kind of fell in love with it, but got really kind of excited about space and all the stuff I was learning and the things I was seeing and doing, and it was like a full-blown camp where it was like kids would get there on a Monday and then they'd leave on a Saturday, and over the course of the week we would take them through all kinds of different things that were space related, whether it was mock shuttle missions where there was like an actual fake space shuttle that they would climb into, and there was kids that would operate the space shuttle, and then there were kids that would work at Mission Control, and they would have headphones and they'd talk to each other.
Let me ask you this: how close was this to, or if close at all, to the Omniplex? You know, have you ever been to the Space Museum in Oklahoma City?
No.
Seth, you remember that? The
Oh, yeah.
Omniplex? Like, remember they had like a little like space like
The Science Museum.
Yeah.
Well, I've
Science
been to the
Museum,
Science
Yeah,
Museum.
Okay.
that's what it
So
is.
you know, honestly,
Yeah.
that's a good way to describe it. It was like a gigantic science museum,
Okay.
but it was all space oriented. So they had a mock space shuttle mission. They had a zero gravity wall where you would strap in and it would simulate like what it felt like to be in zero gravity. They had other than the flight simulator, they had I forget what it was called, but it was like this chair that you would strap into, and you'd see it in a lot of the movies. So
Yeah.
when like astronauts are training to go to space, they go through this
it's like
kind of like that.
Yeah.
Except this one was one where you'd strap in and it spins
You
you in
circle?
all different ways,
yeah,
and so
I
like
remember. Yeah.
you would strap into that and go as long as you could, as fast as you could, until you couldn't handle it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so that at least that's what we did.
Did you do it? You did it?
Oh yeah, I did it
I
a bunch
think
of
it's
times.
paired with that Tylenol theory.
Yeah, yes, that might have something to do with why I think the way I think. But
Yeah.
but it was like that. There was also and it was at the place where it took place. It was at this place called Moffett Field in Northern California, and this was like a giant Air Force base. In fact, it has hangars for like blimps, like blimp hangars, where like the Goodyear blimp type of blimps would like dock and things like that. But then it also has the largest wind tunnel in North America, I believe, which is where they tested the aerodynamics for the space shuttle. And they also had a gigantic Saturn V rocket outside.
So like the tinfoil can they
yeah,
sent
well,
up to
if you believe in that
the
stuff,
moon. Yeah,
like
yeah.
if you believe in the space shuttle and space.
But no, really, what are your thoughts? Are you like 100% sure that we've been to space? Like you're 100% sure we've been past the belt, whatever, the Van Allen belt. What is it? Can you tell me?
The atmosphere?
No, what's the belt? The belt they can't get around. It's like the Van Allen belt. That's like
Would that be
orbit, past low Earth orbit, and then there's the Van Allen belt, and then they go to the moon. That's what they're supposed to get past
Okay.
in order to get to the moon. But they sent a tin can out there.
Well, you have to actually, if you believe this stuff, you have to be traveling at 17,500 miles an hour to break Earth's atmosphere and break Earth's orbit. In order to be able to get up into space and actually orbit, you have to be traveling at least that fast. And so when any object that is in space, if you believe space is real, starts to come back, descend back to Earth, it's because they've dropped down below 17,500 miles an hour. Now, that is just what I was taught by the folks at NASA when I worked at Space Camp. But anyway, so I did all those things, kind of fell in love with it. And yeah, do I believe that space is real? I do. And I can't say that it's not because I've seen something. I obviously haven't been to space, but I grew up a kid of the 80s where, you know, the space shuttle missions were like a big deal. You know, they're coming off the heels of the Apollo missions, going to the moon, allegedly. And
I mean, but I feel like I've seen more realistic movies than evidence of space life right now.
So are you referring to like the
Right.
footage from like the
Even
60s
that, but
and the 70s, or are
even
you
that,
referring
yeah.
to like the
Just
the
any
most
footage.
current footage
Just
of like
any footage, like of the-
satellites and,
Yeah,
and
and I mean, it's like, how do you know that's real? Like, it could just be a projection of what we've all been indoctrinated to think what it looks like.
Yeah.
So it's easy for them just to project that and be like, oh, it's that.
yeah, I guess, I mean, if you think of it like that, yeah, I mean, there's, again, like, I'm not sitting here with, like, proof that I've been to space,
No.
but I believe it because, and this isn't maybe a good reason, I've grown up being taught that that was what it was, and the Earth is round, and we're on this planet, and there's other things
It's
outside
like,
of Earth.
were you taught or were you just told?
Well, okay, taught, told.
Okay, I mean, yeah, are kind of two different definitions.
But, I
right?
mean, couldn't you say that about anything?
yeah,
that
but
everything that you
especially when you didn't have any internet or anything to back check it or anything
Right.
like that, just you are only told because what can you research back then, back when you were learning? Like you
Well,
didn't have anything to.
You asked me what evidence I have.
All right.
I actually do have some evidence here, Nolan.
I remember.
I have a book that's titled Full Moon, and it's not. Trust me, there's no bare bottoms in the book.
Yeah, let me see this.
But it's a book that I bought while I was working at space camp. That was all
look. It's signed by Neil Armstrong.
It's signed by an astronaut, not Neil Armstrong though. But it's all high res pictures from the moon. So here, Seth, let me see that real quick.
But
so,
NASA's admitted there's not like one photo that they haven't altered because they can't get a real. It's a bunch of pictures put together.
Well,
they have to do that.
Yeah, they can't.
So it's also
they didn't have the technology to take a panoramic picture when they were landing on the moon. So what they had to do is they had to take multiple pictures and put them together, and then quote unquote edit them.
And then live stream it.
I mean, wouldn't
the every single American TV headset in 1969?
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Yeah, for
pretty
227,000 miles away. But
So,
I can't.
so
we can't even get Wi-Fi very well. Like,
but
what do you mean?
Do you
like,
believe that technology was a lie? That didn't happen? Like, do you believe that was faked and that?
Yeah, I mean,
how and why do you believe that? Why do you believe that couldn't exist back then?
I mean, maybe you're right. It could exist, but the way that the story was told doesn't add up. Like,
how was the story told?
Well, I mean, I'm just asking simple questions like, how was Richard Nixon able to pick up a landline phone, or whoever was president? Was it Nixon when they went to the moon?
I think he was president for some of it.
Yeah, and like he literally on a landline phone was able to talk to the astronauts.
And why couldn't that exist? If someone could call, well, let me ask you a question.
Could they do that now?
If they were on the moon, I suppose they could probably.
Why wouldn't they?
If the moon's real.
I mean, 227,000 miles away. Come on.
Okay,
man.
but we also talk to people that are on the complete opposite side of the planet.
And that's not
right?
even close to
200. It's not. But if we could,
that's like 200 times not as.
Okay.
You know
why couldn't that happen?
Because like, how do we receive signal?
But I'm not a scientist. I'm not an engineer. I don't have the technical savvy to give you that answer,
I don't know. That's
so
why,
I guess
that's why I'm questioning it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know either. I'm not a physicist. All I do is consume research, or consume different pieces of, conspiracy evidence of questioning what's going on. So it's just like,
I mean, I will say, like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I don't have any second thoughts or I don't have any questioning that takes, like, I question. Like, there's, like, I definitely look at it and go, man, it's weird. Like, so we went to the moon. We made this big push to go to the moon, allegedly, and then we stopped, right? Why did we stop? Well, I don't, again, I'm not like an historian where I have all the facts, but I think it probably had something to do with the cost of going to the moon, and the financial implications of doing that. And I think like the country not being behind it anymore, because if you believe like the movies and the different things you've seen, because I liked space, I've watched all these movies about space, all these television shows that talked about the Mercury missions, the Apollo missions, all that, and the way they depict history was that going to the moon just kind of became like no big deal because they did it so much to where it wasn't exciting people, and NASA started to look at sight towards other things.
That was the point. Just to get the human population so enthralled that you never question anything because you know what I mean.
So why do you question it? Like, what is the reason? What is? Let me ask you. Well, hold on. Like, what purpose does it serve to fake that? For like whoever, like, and so who is faking it, right?
Money laundering.
Okay, I can't wait to hear this. But so. Who is behind faking? So are all of the people that are in control of every country, all the world leaders, did they all get together and say, we're going to create this like story that there is space out there, and we're going to create this fictional story that these countries are racing to get to it and then racing to get to the moon? And if so, that's pretty coordinated, right? That they all got on the same page for that, which the whole world can't get on the same page for anything.
Well,
And then what is the
think-
reason behind that?
I think the world leaders that you're talking about that get together, that's all a dog and
At
pony show.
Bohemian Grove?
That's all a dog and pony show.
Oh, okay.
Like they're get together. They don't make decisions. It's not them that make the decisions.
So who's making the decisions?
Whoever, I don't know. I can't tell you that. I can't dig deeper, but there is something deeper going on.
Okay.
I mean, even you agree, like the JFK stuff that's coming out, and, you know, and the 9/11 stuff that's coming out. Like, you know, it's kind of like,
well, I believe
but like if they were able to fake the moon landing, then they're definitely able to fake 9/11, right?
I disagree.
No, okay.
No, the reason I disagree is that faking the moon landing
is a TV show, Stanley Kubrick, right?
Kubrick was a film director.
Yeah, he was the
made,
one that
he
filmed
made the movie.
He admitted it too.
He made the movie A Space Odyssey 2001.
And what about Neil Armstrong when he was interviewed by like a little girl or multiple times? He specifically said, "We've never been there."
And where was that recorded, and who recorded it?
There you can look it up on YouTube or anywhere you watch videos. But
Just
it was
was
like an actual TV, like
okay,
local TV.
But
station.
who's to say that wasn't fabricated to make us maybe question it?
Okay, so now who's in control of that? Who's pulling those strings, Lance?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I
Okay,
don't
man,
know.
don't try to twist this on me.
I'm not
okay,
twisting it. I'm just
anyways,
talking and asking
anyway.
questions. So, but
Anyway.
you never answered my question.
Okay, what
purpose does it serve to trick society into believing that there is
control
space beyond
Control.
Earth that is ever goes on forever? And there's
what they say is it was a space war, right? There or whatever. Whoever gets to the moon first. That's all. It was space race.
Space race.
So they faked it to.
well, the space race was to get into space first,
Okay, but either way, I'll get to the moon first. Get to everything first.
and then it became getting to the moon
okay,
first, right?
and it was all a political thing. So have they not been faking everything to go into wars?
Okay, so what war came out of the space race?
Or like anything like that? Like, why were they trying to beat another country for military defense?
No, yeah. You're right there, right? The thought
what I'm
was
saying.
the thought was whoever controlled space controlled the planet.
I'm not saying
right?
I'm not saying a war.
So, but
came out of it.
But what
it's
purpose?
like control, right?
What purpose would it serve for it to be faked?
Control.
Control what?
Control of the military and like all the world wars that are going on.
Okay,
like,
but I understand what you're saying. But my question is, what part does creating a fictional thing called space serve getting control?
So I think it goes deeper than that. Like,
but can you answer my question?
So, like, what do you mean? Like, what benefit? That's what I'm trying to get into. Like,
all right, so get into it.
Like, okay. Anyways, okay. I'm trying to put it in perspective. Like, I think we have been contained here. So, like, I think, you know, it goes down to biblical perspective. Like, when when Jesus cast down Lucifer to the earth, I think there was a deal made to where the devil got this entire earth and he contained us, right? That's where the firmament in the Bible is say we're in a container, okay? And he's confining us in it, and he owns all this because he made some kind of deal with God that you know, whatever, you get all of earth, but every single thing has the essence of me inside them, but you can control everything. So basically, we're like Satan's flesh suits, but we have God's essence in our eyes, you know. And like, you know, like, have you seen like any like of those, you know, depictions like where it's like just a brain and like a spine?
Yeah,
that's like God's essence is in there, but around us is Satan's flesh suits.
You're saying
right?
that we're vessels for a higher being.
So, and
is that what you're saying?
And somehow we were placed here, and somehow we need to figure out how we can get out of here. So,
what does that have to do with someone creating a charade of that there's space?
the devil is
Connect
doing
it
that.
for me. Connect
The
it for me.
devil is doing that to make us think that, like, oh, this is it. We found everything. There's no more. There's space. Like, trying to keep us in control and not want to like.
Wouldn't it be the opposite? The idea of there being like space or some place that we could go beyond the earth would be like the curiosity of the human being to explore and go beyond that. Wouldn't that be what that created? The idea behind there being a space versus what you're saying is keeping us here, keeping us contained, keeping us.
But they're so good at manipulating us that they think that we're content.
Okay. And
Like,
how does
we're
that?
content
How does,
with right here.
how
We're
does-
content with here. We're content with not exploring anymore. We're content with just because we found everything, right?
So I disagree.
Okay.
Like I mean, I'm not saying I disagree with the idea that it could be fake, but I disagree with the premise that it was created to keep us content and contained, because I think the idea of human beings thinking, hey, there's something else out there beyond the earth, wouldn't that create the drive to want to explore and get out there and see what's out there versus, hey, I'm cool, I don't want to go.
Well, it's the same question. Why don't we continue to explore the ocean when it's right here on Earth and 90% of it is undiscovered?
Because it's more dangerous than space.
How do you know?
That's what they've told
How do
me.
you
Yeah,
know we
that's what
we
they
aren't
told us.
exploring it though?
That's what they told us. How do
How do you know we're not exploring it?
Hey man, I'm glad we're having this discussion.
Yeah.
So like I'm not trying to be
No,
aggressive.
I love
I'm
it.
being like I'm trying to understand. So.
That's cool, but no. So I want to go deeper into the like how we're contained, right? I'm trying to tell you, my obsession isn't with a flat Earth, like we joke about all the time. Like you're a globe tard, I'm a flat tard, whatever. But
I don't really like that name.
No,
Like,
yeah,
I
that's
prefer
a fat tard.
I prefer flat earther.
Flat earther.
And globe earther.
The trigger words and the globus. So it's not necessarily that like I believe that we're in a globe. I just, like I said, I believe that we're contained. Whether it be we're contained right here and it is a huge ball, okay, that we maybe, but I know that we're contained and there's a lot more, like a lot more.
So what you're talking about is, if you believe in flat Earth, that we're in this, what we believe to be like the Earth, right? All the continents and everything is actually an area within a larger, a larger planetary place, right? And that we can't get beyond the area, or we don't go beyond the area that Earth as we know it exists in, because we're content with not exploring out further, right?
Right. So, but
are you saying that space was created, the facade or the space was created to keep us from exploring out beyond the ice wall, because we're now looking up to what we believe is
right? Why do you think it's called outer space? Right?
Outer. You got me, man.
I'm serious though.
Because I would assume because it's outside of the Earth, it's outer space,
and we're in a plane net. The plane. We're on an infinite plane, so that leads me also.
What if it's called a planette because it takes a plane to fly around?
You can't circumnavigate the globe, bud, when it's not one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Circumnavigate the globe with the cash flow.
Hey, no, but
I think we can agree to disagree. I don't think you've made me believe, and I don't think I've changed your opinion. But let's talk about a few other things like gravity. Okay, what is gravity?
It's a theory.
It's a theory, so
it's
not.
One. It's a good theory.
Okay. All right. So the idea that there's
never been proven
gravity
in a scientific, whatever.
It hasn't.
You can't, because there's no control.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a theory.
What does that mean?
Never be proven. Cannot be proven.
So if I take this and I drop it.
Yeah. What does that prove?
Gravity's not pulling that back to the.
No. So if you're a scientist, do you know what the scientific method is?
Enlighten me, Nolan.
No, you're a scientist, so please.
I never said I was a scientist.
No.
I never said I was a scientist.
You're a mad scientist.
Yeah. You just asked me if I knew something was, and I said, enlighten me. You tell me what it is.
But like, what does it say here? What does it say? Background for love of NASA and science. So if your love is in science, you will know what the scientific method is, right?
Do you know what
there
it is?
needs to be an independent, dependent, and a control variable, correct?
I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
You're teaching me.
Yes.
I'm not mocking you. I'm being serious, Nolan.
Yeah. Okay.
You
So,
started
yes.
this by saying you weren't educated. You sound pretty educated to me. Come on, man.
I mean, right? There has to be those
A
things.
few
So if
things
you fall,
stuck, a few
are
things
you
stuck.
are you process driven? Like you like to follow the process, right? Because if you're a scientific guy, you're black and white.
Well,
you're a NASA guy.
I
You
think-
like to follow. You like to follow the process, right? Like at certain places.
I'm a wild card, Nolan, because I'm an artist. I create music and things, and that's not always process driven. But I also do. Yeah, am I a person that likes having process and systems in place? Like, yeah, I think I find comfort in process and systems.
So, I mean, to follow the correct process and to prove that it is not a theory, it would have to go through that scientific method. And it can't because there's no control theory variable. There has been no experiment that you can scientifically experiment gravity. I mean, that's just a fact. It's a theory. Okay? And it's just trying to explain away why we're a ball spinning through the earth at 1,000 miles an hour and going around the sun at 660,000 miles an hour and also shooting through space at the same time at 1,000,000 miles an hour, right? That's what NASA says. But yet we see the same constellations.
This is when that disclaimer needs to play over
the disclaimer. I don't know. I'm just reciting stuff,
We're Google scientists.
Yeah, Google this, if you may.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even believe Google, dude. You got to go to... Yeah. Anyways.
DuckDuckGo?
Yeah, that's what I have. That's what I have. Yeah. Or TikTok,
Yeah.
But, okay, so if we're moving all these directions all at once, they had to explain it away with the theory of gravity, okay? When that can be easily explained when you realize that we're in a container and that what is above is below. So the space you see is the ocean, okay?
Okay.
The ocean is above, the ocean is below us.
Okay.
We're in a container.
So we're in a container within the ocean?
Yep. The ice wall keeps us contained because water can never curve. It comes to level, right? When it's in a container, it always comes to level. Correct?
No cap, Nolan, baby.
Okay. I'm convinced. You changed my mind.
Okay.
Done deal. Write it up.
Yep. We'll see you next
Earth
time.
is flat.
What's up? Were you trying to get something?
I think that was perfect ending.
Are you ready for a mind explosion?
Perfect ending.
Well, I'll be damned.
That was perfect, guys. Perfect.